Welcome, everybody, to another Tuesday night of what will probably be the best thing you'll see all evening. My name is Toby Davis, and it's race time once again, and this time we're at the most historic track on the calendar, Silverstone. The first race was held here in 1950, which, to be honest, feels like roughly when I started commentating on this championship. Silverstone is the crown jewel of British motorsport, but don't be fooled, you will not be treated to the crown jewels of GPVWC tonight. Formula Sprint 2 is back. You may notice tonight that the entire grid looks different to normal, and that's because the teams have decided to completely ruin our chances of working out who is who and ganged up on us, it feels like, by changing their liveries to historic Formula 1 efforts. Why they chose Silverstone isn't entirely clear, but it will be very fun to look at them and guess who we're talking about. Now, whilst one usually thinks of the summer as sunny and happy, don't forget, by the way, folks, that it's July. And I've heard that it's going to be rainy, which is pretty much standard for British weather, but do not despair. I am joined by my number two, my Padawan, my apprentice, the Robin to my Batman, the junior officer, the second in command, my wonderful sidekick, the protege, the subordinate. It's Alex Foulkes.
I cannot say what I want to say to you right now on stream. I am physically not allowed to. I hate you. I genuinely hate you. With every fiber of my being.
Hi, Alex.
At least you didn't say that it's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland Silverstone Grand Prix.
I could have done that. Brought to you by GPVWC.
Yeah.
Also, and you can't hear him, I'm joined by Vincent Gutt, who's doing work on the cameras. I'm going to tell you what he says, but I want to ask him, because we never do, what he thinks. Vincent, do you have any interesting insight for tonight's event? And would you like to add anything else to that? Lovely. Well, thank you, Vincent. Alex, do you like Silverstone is my question.
I hate it.
Why?
I just don't know. The track, me and it don't bond well together. No idea why. I just dislike Silverstone as a track. But hopefully most of our drivers don't, and they are going to enjoy driving around in the rain and the miserable weather conditions that Britain loves to offer.
Well, I mean,
15 minutes of qualifying as well. So,
what do you think of rain, Alex? Do you like rain as a thing?
As a thing, from what perspective? As a person, it's great. I love rain. You sort of have to living in the UK, don't you?
You do a bit, yeah. Sadly, it's always a bit rainy here. To be fair,
from a driving perspective, not so much. Especially when you sort of want to avoid barriers. Yeah, that's generally a good thing as a driver, to avoid barriers as well.
Would you say inclement weather is preferable to dry weather when participating in a virtual racing event such as this round of GPVWC?
Why did you have to use like the most dumb terminology you could possibly think of?
Is it better to be wet or dry when racing, in your opinion?
I think it's nice to switch between them. Adds a bit of interest to the race. Mainly because of the differing strategies. Oh, bye, Micah. That's the grass. Don't want to be on that.
Tell you what you do want to be on. This dry line that seems to be forming. And I think a lot of drivers have gone out on dry tyres. The D for dry, W for watery. In the tyre selection there on the left. But most of the drivers have gone for D for dry. It looks like, Alex, to be fair.
Watery. Yeah, quite a lot of the drivers who are out on the watery tyres have come back into the pit lane to swap them to the white sidewalled dry tyres.
Yeah, for the flick. We need to be on the on the dry weather tyres, I would say, right now. Here is Matusz Majka, one of the incredibly accurate historic liveries we got. This looks like a 2005-6 Renault to me. But that is an optimal car, so it has those sponsors. It's pretty cool, actually, that they've done this. I mock them, but I like the idea to have these historic liveries. We've seen a couple this season already. The Jordan-inspired livery, and of course the Team RNG Minardi that we've had all season. It's cool to have it occasionally. Why they've all decided to do it in one job lot at the British round, I don't know, but Micah heading through Luffield onto the old start-finish straight.
I think you can blame Magnus Ockenhaug. I don't know if he's actually driving, since we can't see the timing screen anyway. On the broadcast, you can at Race View. Is it NL still, or is it .com? Have they changed that?
What? Live time has always been .com, bruv.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it used to be .nl.
I mean, it's race-view.com. I've been saying it all season.
Oh, yes, this season.
I know you don't listen to me, but you know.
Yeah, of course. Why would I listen to you?
No point.
Yeah, clearly it's
entirely.
useless. Waste of time.
Hashtag. Right, Mateusz Majka is coming very gradually towards. These laps will take a while, by the way, in Formula Sprint 2. It's a very long track. Not as long as Belgium, which is later in the season, but it'll be close to 1:56-ish, I think. Almost a 2-minute lap time, which compared to the frenetic frenzy that was Austria last time out a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't commentating on that one, of course, but yeah, almost 2 minutes here. So if you make a mistake on the lap, it's a big problem for how many runs you're going to get in qualifying. It's going to be 3 at absolute best that you're going to get, which is going to play a part. And Jason Muscat has gone to the top of the timings in the Apex Grand Prix machine. We'll go through the historic F1 nods as we go, but Ockenhaug takes P3 for Optiminal.
Do you just have a list of long and complicated words that you want to use in the broadcast, and you're gradually going through them and, oh, yep, use that one, take that off?
No, actually, as it goes.
It feels like you do, because every single broadcast you say a word that I've never heard of. Not
what one
once
did I just say then?
Life. Frenetic is what you said.
No,
I do listen.
No, well done. No, Google it. It's a good word. Use it more in common lexicon dialogues.
Common lexicon dialogues.
Here's Kurt Rotyarv for ST Racing, and he is purple through the first sector, which means he has set the fastest Sector 1 out of anyone. So he is on a good lap, although I would say the track being as it is, and he's way too wide there, it is going to improve dramatically. It's going to be about who crosses the line last, I would say, unless we get another rain shower. Now, whether we do or not is highly dependent on well, I mean, I guess the clouds above in real life. We do base our weather on real weather stations in the area, but I don't have a handle on how good they are. It seems to change minute by minute, to be fair.
That does tend to be how weather works, Toby. It does change minute to minute, and fair. Does start raining at a random point. You're not a weatherbender, though. Christos Philo might be. He is 5 temps up overall on anybody else, and he's sliding somewhat in a controlled way through those final corners. And I imagine this would be the push for pole position, and it is. Oh no, I thought the start-finish line was earlier. Never mind, it is.
But it is anyway.
Oh, yeah. I was reading.
It should be earlier. I don't know why it's so late in the lap. Yeah. It should be earlier. Oh, Koratko!
Oh, hello.
So you may have noticed that this is another special livery. This says Hunter Birch. Well, simulation as the HSBC logo, which I like, by the way. I think that's cool. Patrick Magnussen here, 4.5 tenths up in the first sector. So the track is dramatically improving. We were seeing 150, mid 150s, and now we're in the 51. When I say mid 150s, I mean 55s-ish. Now we're seeing 51s, so track is ramping up. And Magnussen has come through the first sector. He's going to head through Magnussen Beckett, and there is drizzly rain on the camera lens. So this lap he needs to get this lap in before the track gets too damp again. I don't like racing in these sorts of conditions. You never know what's going to happen next. It's much better when it's full wet or full dry. And to be honest with you, racing in real life in the UK can be like this. It's especially in like the sort of sprint race formats where you don't get a chance to change your tires during the race, really. It's a bit of a nightmare. Joe Gillette has gone P1, by the way. 50.8 for the Hunter Birch driver as Magnussen rounds the final corner. This should be pretty close to the top of the timesheets, and he sneaks pole position by 1.5 tenths from Gillette. And with the rain coming down, this might be it.
there is a chance, obviously. 7 minutes left in the session. It could just stop right now. If I willed it into existence, commentator's curse, hopefully not. And, yeah, so Demokratko was pole. Chris Filo moves up to second. And we're getting the last couple of actual, in a way, dry laps that we're probably going to get. The rain is still falling, as you can see. I can see it very barely. I don't know if anyone else can on the stream. Micah is improving in the first sector, and he is on dry tires. And obviously, light rain isn't going to make the track too wet, but it probably will cost him as the track deteriorates as he continues through his lap with the rain obviously falling down, although it seems to have stopped from what I can see on the onboard.
I mean, we don't get many pixels on our broadcast monitor, but I would say I think it is still drizzling, looking at the race view weather, and I kind of guessing whether those pixels are rain or not. I think it is rain. So yeah, it is still raining, and the track has definitely lost its drier line that it had just a few minutes ago. So Micah, although he's setting purple sectors, I'm not sure how much longer the grip will last in this session. It isn't raining very much. Someone will tell me exactly how much it's raining right now, but it's only a few percent, I would say, of rain coming down. So the lap times won't drop off just yet. As the track gets wetter, though, times will fall off. Mike across the line, 0.2 takes him to the top of the timesheets for Optiminal in that Renault-inspired livery.
Yeah, and Mika Hakimi, I don't know which it is, but he has improved in the middle sector and is looking on probably for pole position here, and he does by 0.2 of a second over Matusz Micah. Takes pole position for KV86. They're running their normal livery this time around. Kasper Kuritz, purple in the first and final sector, moves up to P3, displacing Patrick Magnusson, who is also the other KV86 driver, and Kerala also sneaks in just behind Kasper Kuritz. This is Demokratko coming into the pit lane. Terence Crack, Apex Grand Prix, they're running a Ferrari-inspired livery this time round. Obviously no Jase Laatunen for the team. He's gone off and doing things in his personal life as well, and can't be here, obviously. And I don't actually know much about Oliver Trass other than his internet has died and can't join, as Greg actually moves up to P6 for Apex.
Yeah, it's a completely new lineup for Apex, and Muscat, if you look at his lap time now, he was the provisional pole sitter early in the session, has not improved, and is now down in P19. So it shows how much the track has ramped up, as Dan Hayek is green through sector 1, so he's set a personal best, but he's 2.5 tenths off. The rain does seem to have halted momentarily, though, so it could bring the track back to life again for the final couple of laps. Obviously, drivers are still setting good lap times, but it does look very slick through Magus and Beckett as Hayek runs his way onto the hangar straight through sector 2 split, and he's almost half a second down in that sector.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about this. Is this the third or fourth rain-affected race we've had in just the first half of the season? Obviously, we were getting the second half of the season now, round 9. And off the top of my head, we've had China, Suzuka, this one, and I can't actually remember, but I think we've had Australia as well.
Yes, Aussie was a damp boy, but not too bad for the other rounds. To be fair, Suzuka we all sort of were wondering if it would be decent or not standards, and since then it's actually improved. The overall racing in Formula Sprint 2 has been pretty good, so hopefully it does stay that way tonight, as Senna Stoffmeal, who's been pretty much a revelation since joining this championship, by the way, a very capable driver on his day, running a lovely yellow helmet that really stands out against that 01 Esports car, as he crosses the line and moves up to P7 for 01. So decent job so far, although he kind of has missed the best of the weather. Here's the Cap Clay of Tuamala. That's a Prost-inspired livery from the late 90s, I would say 99 possibly, question mark. But he's crossing the start-finish line now, and he's done pretty good sectors so far. Moves up to P2 for Cap Clay.
Yeah, but Hakimi in that, that's not good for Tuamala. I thought he was going to keep it and do a nice little 360, but hasn't managed to do that. That's going to be cooking his tyres, and I suspect we'll be seeing a bit more of that during the race. And you've been correct here. It's the 2001 Prost Grand Prix car, as rain does start to fall again, while Jørn Dix is on a purple first sector. Let's see how
purple first for Jørn Dix. That must have been a very good first sector. It's basically 2 flat-out corners followed by 2 hairpins, so it's quite a tricky sector to get right. He's only fractionally down in the middle sector. This is a great lap from Jørn Dix. I wonder if he's, playing about with the downforce levels somehow, because the Maggotts and Beckett section, it requires very high downforce. Dix has not been this high up, potentially this high up, for most of the season. He is on target here to be right at the front of the grid as Dix rounds the final corner onto the start-finish straight. He crosses the line, goes P3. So close. Rotyar has taken P1 for ST Racing, and Mika Hakimi P2 currently. It's all happening, actually. There's quite a few drivers on a lap. Let's see if we can pick one of them up. Svilo is only a 10th down in the first sector, doing a decent job. Joe Gillette, who was provisional pole earlier on, he's done 2 green sectors in the final sector now. Who else have we got on a lap? Stoffmeal's gone P1. So Senna Stoffmeal moves himself into the 49s and takes P1 from Rotyar. Svilo 4/10 down in the middle sector. That's not the one. Gillette does go to the top of the timings for Hunter Birch. Great lap for him. We've got, who else have we got? We've got Patrick Magnussen set a green first sector as well. Svilo crosses the line, P10 for the Reading Game Studios driver. Let's have a look, see if we can pick up Hakimi, who's gone purple in the first sector. So a 30.1 for him in the first sector. Carala and Magnussen matching him as we head through Maggotts and Beckett's in the KV86. It is coming down the rain, but only lightly. Hakimi drifts his way through as he rounds Chapel Curve and onto the Hangar Straight. Has he managed to hold on to the lap time? He has. Purple through Sector 2 for Hakimi. And Magnussen matches him. Also purple in Sector 2. So this is going to be right to the line. Micah does a very fast Sector 1. So the track is ramping up. Magnussen rounds the final corner and onto the start-finish straight. We're going to have to keep an eye on the other drivers I just mentioned as he crosses the line. 49.4 for Patrick Magnussen. Here comes Hakimi. He is down on Magnussen in that second sector. Micah's the one to watch. He is driving the wheels off the machine. Hakimi moves up to P2. It's just fractionally off his teammate in P1. Let's pick up... here is who are we watching here? This is Casper. This is Micah. So Micah 3/10 to the good in the first sector. He's rounding Maggotts and Beckett's onto the Hangar Straight, fractionally down, but he's still up overall. Casper Koritz has set a purple middle sector. We'll keep an eye out on him. He's going to jump towards the front of the pack as well. Micah's just got a few corners left. He goes around the Stowe corner, heading into the final chicane at Club. Just 2 more corners to go for Micah. He is currently 2/10 up. Carala jumps up into P2 and Gillette into P3. So still the times are tumbling. Micah rounds the final corner then towards the start-finish line. Can he take pole? Yes! A 49.1 for the Optimal driver. Who else is on lap? Koritz has set a purple middle sector, but he has to box. Must have made a mistake. Is anyone else on a possible lap? Jason Muscat is set a green first sector, but the rain still comes. I don't know if this is going to be enough to challenge the leaders. He's only 3/10 down in the first sector, 3/10 down in the middle sector. This isn't going to be the one. I think Mike has done enough for pole, Alex.
Definitely, and most of the advantage that Micah had there was in the first sector alone. He was 3/10 up in the first sector, and it's roughly the exact gap between Magnussen and Micah. 3.308 was the difference in Sector 1, as we're just waiting for Muscat and Terence Grech to finish out their lap. And I would imagine we're about to see maybe him improve just a bit up the order. He moves up to 8th, actually. So I say just a bit up the order. He's gone from 21st to P8, displacing Magnus Ockenhaug from that position, and that is the last of our qualifiers, unless Nick Kuiper is still on that lap.
I don't believe he is. I think he's run out of time to complete that one personally, so I think the grid will be Matish Micah taking pole position for Optimal, Patrick Magnussen P2, Carrala for priority 1 in 3rd position. We didn't see him throughout the session, but he's running a Williams historic livery. Joe Gillette P4 in the Jaguar. Mika Hakimi P5, Senna Stoffmeal 6th position. Kurt Rotiav 7th. Jason Muscat for the Apex, well, it's actually a Ferrari-inspired livery in P8. P9 for Ockenhaug. And P10 for Terence Grech. 11th place for Jörn Dix. His lap time had so much potential, but ended up a second off. Tuamala we saw in P12. Carrasco 13th. Hayek 14th. Craig Patterson probably will be disappointed with 15th place at his home race. Bobby Vakuanov in 16th. Kasper Kuritz had a chance at pole, but must have made a mistake. 17th. Kirstus Filo 18th. James Knox 19th. And Aaron Curtis, who we haven't mentioned, but he's driving for the GPVWC Academy in 20th. 21st goes to Lupus Habra with Tom Parker, Nick Kauper, Thijs Jongstra, Mihailo Vicentievich in 25th. Mana Kandan 26th. Johannes Lepit, Caitlin Penny, who's driving for Academy today. I see Caitlin driving, and Florian Haase and Mike Bell rounding out the top 30. And that is 31st then, therefore, for Filip Chavinsky in the Freccianera. Alex, that was, well, frenetic, I guess, the session in the end. Sum it up for us.
Well, summing it up is pretty difficult because we had a bunch of laps come in at the end there where the track was sort of not able to decide whether it wanted to improve or be wet or improve in terms of grip. So we had tumbling lap times at the end. Matej Majka just edging out, well, I say edging out, there's a 3/10 gap between him and Patrick Magnussen in the first sector alone, and that gave him pole position. And for the most part, everyone now is going to be going out on dry tires, although I see a couple of wet runners right now as we move into the warm-up session. Quite interesting. Actually, never mind. The wet driver has gone and pulled off and returned to the pit lane, and someone's going completely off track. Mika Hakimi, the P5 driver for KV86, who look the best in qualifying here. Obviously, Micah did take pole position, but they're in a very advantageous position, P2 and P5 for the two cars, and for the most part, they're the highest team on the track right now.
Lovely. Personally, I would say I have no idea whether it's Hakimi or Hakimi. I will need to find that out. Someone needs to tell me. Someone who speaks Finnish would be helpful to find out which one it is, just so I can get it right. I like to get the pronunciations at least as approximately in the ballpark of how they should be enunciated. But yeah, Alex, this is a long track, a lot of technical corners. Personally, I prefer it to. I don't know why they test it in spec. Well, I do, because the weather's better in the winter. But honestly, I think this would be an ideal track to generally test on. And of course, you know, the Jordan Force India Aston Martin team is based literally around the corner from Silverstone. They historically have done a lot of filming days here. Have you been to Silverstone in real life?
No, too expensive.
I mean, you don't have to watch the F1, just generally go there.
No,
like,
it's just generally expensive to get there, for me at least.
Why? How far is it? Where in the rough approximation of the world are
it's
you?
probably like a good 150 miles or so.
That's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a weekend trip, obviously.
I mean, it depends if you've got to use public track. I mean, like for me, everywhere's miles away. I live in South Wales, so it's a bit tricky to get to some of the UK racing tracks. I love Silverstone. I love driving around it. It's been one of my better tracks in virtual racing and in real life racing. Actually, I do love the track a lot. It's also really nice to be on track when it's sort of, you know, it's an F1 track and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's definitely the best track the UK has to offer, especially since it's been upgraded in 2010 with the new village loop and using the National Straight as well, which is now called the Wellington Straight, of course. Is Craig Patterson in that BMW inspired livery. I think he's the one with the Montoya helmet, and I think Carrala has the yes. So Patton has the Montoya helmet. Carrala has the Ralf Schumacher helmet. With the, I wonder if we can date this one. This might be 2003.
I'll agree with you on that one. I think it is 03.
Someone's going to correct me, I'm sure.
Yep. We can both be wrong.
No.
I couldn't tell you what half of these dates are, to be honest.
Yeah, but you're a baby, though, aren't you? I mean,
I don't actually care, to be fair.
you weren't around when these were actually. Well, I guess you were probably just. When were you born?
07.
I'm so old.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
I'm honestly so old.
Ancient.
Literally.
Are you decaying? Do you need to be mummified or? That's
Wow.
not free, is it?
Don't encourage, because my girlfriend is a little bit younger than me, and she always reminds me of the age difference between us. It's not fun. She's like, oh, I was like, the other day we were watching some highlights from 2007, like Lewis Hamilton's. She was like, yeah, I was like, I think I was 6 or 7 when this was happening. I was like, oh, I'm so old. But yeah, this is a nice livery. I like the BMW Williams liveries, to be fair, 2000 2004. After that, he sort of started adding sponsors for 2005 and 6, and it wasn't so nice. Plus, they kind of fell off the cliff after 2004. The Mark Webber, who was driving in 2005? Mark Webber, Heidfeld, yes, who I don't think was any good either, by the way. Defo, the Schumacher Montoya years were the best ones for them.
Addison almost held it through Stoke corner. That would have been a nice little drift had he held on to it.
Did you watch the F1 on Sunday?
No, I didn't.
What?
I know the result. I just don't watch it.
Why not?
I don't. Like
Honestly, this season's been the best for the last 3 years.
yeah, but the thought of actually paying Sky any money is horrible to me.
I mean, yeah, there are ways around that I won't discuss formally in this conversation.
No.
Such as, you could go to your local drinking establishment and watch it there, I suppose.
Not my kind of place.
Fair.
To be honest. I don't think it's really anyone's kind of place to watch F1.
No, it's great to watch. Like the 2021 Abu Dhabi final race was unbelievable scenes in the pub. But yeah, it's not usually the best place to watch F1. Not gonna lie, but it can be if it's a nice race, and especially when there's little droplets of rain falling. I think Bernie had it right when he said we should have sprinklers on the tracks. To be fair, it always spices up the action somewhat.
Bernie says a lot of things, or said a lot of things that I still don't agree with to this day, and that is one of them. Oh, what's going on here? Oh no.
There's going to be a fair bit of this in the race, I think. A fair bit of drifting going on.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see quite a lot of contact through Brooklands, especially, where it's high speed but not when you're trying to get on the power, and there you go. Well, they just recreated. Oh, it got captured actually.
Oh, it's a Hakimi like the PSG fullback. Very nice. Thank you, Rodrigo Carvalho, in the chat.
Carvalho. There's no I.
Rodrigo, how do you say your name? Ronaldinho Carvalho. Yeah. Exactly. What is going on in the YouTube chat, by the way? Do keep adding chat to the YouTube chat, but there's some discussion about visiting Birmingham going on here. I don't know if people have sort of lost track of that there's a race going on. I know we have a sort of conversational
We've lost
style.
track. No.
Oh, here's a nice one. Here's a BAR livery with the 2003-4 probably BAR livery. I love that. Love that car.
Oh,
You're
chat
saying
doesn't
3.
know.
You're saying 3. Do you know that for shoresies?
I'll go and check the model behind me. I'll be a second.
I mean, the white rear wing with a black front wing will give it away.
Yeah.
2004 BAR. It could be 2004, you know.
I'll check.
It's not going to be 2005, I don't think, because of the red around the airbox, and it was black in 2005 and 6.
I think it's 2003.
I think it's 2004, Rev.
I think it's 2003, mate.
Okay, okie dokie. Do you collect scale replicas? Do you?
No, it's just one I have and basically inherited.
You
So-
only have one, and it's a BAR.
Yep. Jensen Button BAR.
Very nice, very good. I've got a few. Probably about 20 by now, I imagine.
A few.
Yeah, but I've been doing it a while. I've just dropped something. 2 seconds.
Oh, typical. Absolutely typical of Toby. I swear this warm-up session feels longer every time we do it.
What do you mean by that?
It's... What do you think I mean by that?
What do you mean? I mean, how can it possibly feel longer?
Oh, I don't know, Toby. No idea.
We have such a good conversation about stuff.
Yes? Correct.
I don't know about that font for the number there on the Hunter Birch. I don't know if that's historically accurate, but I
don't know about
appreciate.
the-
I fully appreciate the Jaguar Eddie Irvine helmet, though. That's amazing.
Well, Toby, you're a graphic designer. What font is that?
What? The number?
On yeah, the number font. What is it?
The one they've used looks like Georgia.
I think we need someone to back that up.
Let's have a little. Let's have a look. I'm waiting for Vincent to find the next Hunter Birch so we can just double check.
It isn't in the pit lane or in a wall.
That's very negative thinking of you, Alex.
Well, both are in the pit lane, so.
Yeah, fair. Right, we have a race to run. Wonder if there'll be ducks tonight or not. Floating on the watery rivers through the Northamptonshire track that is Silverstone. I think, personally, I would appreciate a dry race today. But the weather god may choose to rain down on our parade tonight. We will shortly find out. The warm-up session is ending. And it will be a very interesting race. I think we're going to see a KB86 win, considering Patrick Magnussen and Hakimi, who, as rightfully as pointed out in the YouTube chat, is probably slightly above this level, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. But certainly Micah on pole will be doing his best to do something about that.
Yep, as we watched a car phase into the pit lane. And, Toby, you do talk a lot of waffle, don't you?
What
When it comes to filling in the gaps between the sessions.
how do you work that out?
Well, based on the fact that you said, I wonder if ducks are going to be floating over the. I actually forgot what region you said.
Northamptonshire. Actually, some of the track is in Northamptonshire, and some of it, believe it or not, isn't.
Well, it is a big track. It does sort of make sense. I thought it was Lincolnshire for some reason.
No,
I don't
it's
know
not
why.
in Lincolnshire.
It's not even remotely close to it.
No, it isn't. I think it's in 2 counties, but I can't remember the other one. It's Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, of course.
Oh, of course, yes.
Of course. Yeah, so it's yeah, you might be parking in Buckinghamshire, but sitting in a grandstand seat in Northamptonshire. How exciting.
Yes, it is. Do you know what's more exciting, though? The fact that we're about to get underway for the second half of the Formula Sprint 2 racing series season.
True, this is halfway house, and you can take us through the grid, Alex.
Oh, thanks, Toby. I do appreciate it. On pole then, it's Maciej Majka for Optimal Esports, followed by Patrick Magnussen and Jonas Corrala and Joe Gillette on the second row. Third row, Mika Hakimi and Senna Stoffmeal, and behind them is Kurt Rutschov and Magnus Ockenhaug. One more back is Terence Grek with Ewan Dix behind him, and then it's Michael Tuamala and Damir Karatko, who are in Ferrari. Not Ferrari. I forgot how it plays. Prost GP, of course. Dan Hayek lines up 13th with Craig Patterson behind him in 14th. Robbie Vakanov 15th and Christos Filo on the 8th row 16th. James Knox is 17th, followed by the first Academy car of Aaron Curtis in 18th, Lupus Habra P19 and Jason Muscat in P20. P21 is Kasper Kuritz. He was pole at some point in the qualifying session. Down in P21 for him, Tom Parker 22nd with Nick Kuiper and Thijs Youngstra 23rd and 24th. 25 is Mihailo Vicentjevic for ST Racing with Mana Manakandam behind him. Johannes Lepit in 27th, followed by Caitlin Penny, who is the Super League commentator. Florian Haase is 29th in the Excellion car with Philip Tavinsky and Mike Bell behind him. Mike Bell is, I didn't realize he was last out of all the runners.
Yeah, he had a penny. I will petal. He will, I will tell you what it was. With the DC decisions FS2 round 8 Austria.pdf document. So Noah Tuamela protested Oliver Taras, who got a 10 pace grid penalty, but he's not here. Mike Bell protested Kuritz, and Kuritz got a 5 place grid penalty and 1 license point. Dan Hutt also got a 5 place grid penalty and 1 license point for another protest by Mike Bell. And then wait, why is Mike Bell at the back of the field then? There doesn't seem to be any penalties against him whatsoever. Did he just qualify there?
I thought Savinsky qualified very
So
first.
did I. He just didn't set a lap. Well, there you go.
Well, who didn't set a lap first? That's the question. And clearly it was Mike Bell who...
He's in the fire version of the Red Bull, which... I mean, if you're choosing Red Bull, I'm not sure I'd choose that one, and he's got to start
not even in
the middle of nowhere. Here we go, everyone. We're gonna have 5 red lights, and then they're gonna go off, and then we're gonna be underway. So here they come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we're away. And Micah on the right-hand side looking to get the best possible start he can. He's on the grippy line, and he sweeps through into turn 1 first and takes the lead of the race nice and comfortably. Behind him, there's a little bit of squabbling going on further back, and down the inside goes, I think that's Magnussen and Hakimi. So second and third. On the outside now, Hakimi trying to go round the outside. He's run out of room. There's a bit of a kerfuffle going on further back, but most of the pack at the front have got through okay as they swarm down the Wellington Straight. Someone's around. It's a 01 esports car. I don't know which one it was. Well, it can't be Stoffmeal. Stoffmeal has actually nurtured his car into 5th or 6th position there, fighting away with the Hunter Birch of Joe Gillette. But a great start for the KV86 driver Matusz Majka.
KV86 driver Maciej Majka. What?
Why did I say that? Optimal driver Matusz Majka.
Well, Hakimi got past Jonas Corrala in Brooklyn. We saw that happen with the other. Oh no! Someone's gone right off, and I can't tell you who that is. It was an Arrows.
Arrows. Bobby Vakunov it was.
Bobby Vakunov.
Oh dear, and the car is smoking in the background. I think that may be goodbye to him for this round, but. Yes, Micah got a good start. I don't know why I say KV86. Here comes Magnussen, though, and he's flying down the hangar straight, trying to get his nose inside, but he is unable to propel his way into P1 for now. But Micah holds on. Magnussen P2, and Hakimi has made his way up to P3 already from P5 on the grid. And further back, this does look very early 2000s F1, to be honest.
Oh. He almost made that work, actually, with that send, but we just have cars everywhere. Oh, no! Not good for Terence Grek. Round at the final corner. And look at how close all these cars are. We're not even seconds apart at this point. We've got a huge pack, all fighting each other. As Magnussen also chasing Matish Micah at the front, but there is just constant action further down the field as someone's falling back. It's going too quick. I think it's Aaron Curtis. Matter has been overtaken in the first corner, and it is Bobby Vakinov who has retired from the race. It'll be interesting to see what's happened here as Stoffmill looks down the inside and gets a nicely done move. Is that even English?
No, I mean, you know, it's fine. It's close enough. Let's send Stoffmill up to P5, as you say. Carrala drops to P6 as a result. Svilo's had a decent opening couple of laps. P14 for him so far. Nick Cowper is, for some reason, everyone's favourite in the YouTube chat. But we'll see what happens as we go on through the race. And then we've got Lucas Habra in the Team RNG Mini. Oh, and I think that's Mike Bell. Might be Mike Bell. Looks like he's going to make contact with the inside wall. And I think Mike Bell has dropped all the way back to where he started. And he has indeed. So poor Mike not making that Red Bull grow wings and finds a way up the field. Kurt Rotiav was never going to make that work into Stowe, and deservedly loses a few positions for that one. Was just not going to work into there, in my opinion. Jonas Carrala then onto the back of Jörn Dix, who is in P6, by the way. What a start for Jörn in the Excellion Motorsport liveried, Excellion Motorsport car. And here comes Carrala trying to make his way through at turn 1, but it's not going to happen for him this time around.
Those driving standards you were looking for, Toby, basically non-existent this round, and I can't even say that it's that wet out on circuit right now. As we're all on dry tyres, and there's all a very nice dry line. Kasper Kuritz, that's never going to work. Tries to send it from miles back on Chris's Filo, but just gets shown the door. And yeah, that's what happens when you try and put your nose where it does not belong. And oh, this is a nose where it belongs for Jonas Carrala, looking around the outside of Jörn Dix, but not able to make the move, and has to stay behind him once more, heading towards Cops. And I don't think anyone's going to get a move done there unless we want to recreate 2021. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here's the exact move. Oh, they nearly made contact as well, but Carrala chooses discretion is the better part of valor, and he holds on to that position behind. It's very close between the leaders. There's only 6/10 in it. Magnussen does have decent straight line speed and cruised up to the back of Micah on the first lap. This time round, Micah looks like he's got enough of a gap as they head into Stowe. And down the hanger straight then we've got Carrala pulling out of the slipstream of Dix. We've got Karatko following. Someone's lost a front wing. It's a GPVWC Academy car. I would have said it could be Caitlin Penny. No, it's Curtis. It's Curtis who's dropped all the way down, unfortunately for him. That looked fun. I'm not sure exactly how he lost his front wing there, but not ideal. Magnussen's crawling all over the back of the gearbox of that optimal car of yellow. Micah. Yeah, there's a Lello flag on the go.
Greg, is he coming to the pit lane or is he out of the race?
Greg's, well, either way, I mean, kind of the same thing, really. In a 13 lap sprint. Magnussen now does have the slipstream's very powerful in FS2. There is no DRS in this particular championship, but the slipstream is very powerful and does provide good overtaking opportunities, especially at the long straights that we have here at Silverstone. There's a few of them. One down the Wellington straight here into Brooklands and Luffield. Here's Craig Patterson. Sorry.
Kurt's behind here is actually getting so much slipstream. He's purple in sector 1. While catching this group ahead of him. He's probably not going to get purple lap-wise unless he does get past Craig Patterson here in a magnificent way, and it does seem to look like he wants to. Looks to the inside into Cops, please. Oh, that was close.
Patterson left him enough room on the apex. That was nice, actually, from Craig. And knew that if he didn't do that, there was going to be contact between the two. Patterson's a little bit wide through the first part of Maggots. Into Beckett's we go, and through Chapel onto the hanger straight again. This time Patterson has a bit of a gap to Kurtz behind him. The leaders, though, 0.3 of a second between those two. And it's going to be a race-long battle for that top three, I would say. Here's some replays then. Alex, talk us through them.
Well, this is the race start, and something's happened to Florian Hasso. Look at that. There's just groups of cars. We were 3 wide into the first corner, and he's just gone straight into the back there. And Mike Bell done a very good job to avoid him, although he has gone on quite far into the gravel. This is what happened to Bobby Vakanov then. And that's him, and he's just got out onto the curbs and into the outside wall at Cops, and that was a very heavy hit. And he is probably almost definitely immediately out of the race the moment he hits the wall, or in fact the moment he goes over these curbs, and I don't even think that's much of his fault with the contact there. And yeah, that's a very big hit for him. That's the end of the replays. I would like to see what happened. Oh, this is a battle for the lead, actually. I would not like to see what's happened. Magnussen.
Is it raining?
Oh, getting squeezed.
It's raining. It's raining, and Magnussen is going through on the inside into Cops. Come on, Alex. What are we saying? Is he going to sweep through? He's being held there by Micah. He's taken the lead. Magnussen takes the lead, and Hakimi is right there as well. It's a 3-way battle as they head into the first pass of Maggots, and through they go. Magnussen in the lead. It is raining cats and dogs here. This is much stronger rain than we saw in qualifying. Will this affect the grip levels quickly enough for this to be a nonsensical race of attrition?
What I would be saying right now is, well, as a team, are we pitting? Because for KV86, those two are not going to be able to pit together, so one of them is going to have to take a hit if they do want to pit this lap. Obviously, this rain might not continue to the end of this race, but it is very heavy right now. No one decides to come into the pits just yet. Well, I would expect to see a couple of the back markers go and take a gamble to try and get into the pit lane, get onto some wet tires, just hoping that this rain continues. And we do have quite a bit of heavy rain here.
We do. It's absolutely hooning it down, Alex. It's gonna be very wet very quickly. We're only halfway through the race, and this could be gamble worthy, you know, because the rain is not looking like it's going to let up over the next couple of laps, looking at the weather forecasts. And Mateusz Micah has lost the lead to Magnussen, but in these changeable conditions, anything can happen. And in the words of Murray Walker, it usually does. And to be honest with you, Magnussen, although he looked like he was closing in on Micah stayed there, hasn't he? He's not been gapped by Patrick. And whoa, it's off the track. It's soaking wet out there, and it's going to be a race of attrition to the finish. Who can hang on in these slick tires in these wet conditions? Will anyone take the gamble? Will anyone take that 30-second pit stop and change tires to wet weather? I don't know what I'd do in these situations, to be fair.
Well, Penny has come in, Mike Bell's come in, and they're just struggling through Cops. You saw that, just both of them just on the limit constantly, and Hakimi looks to the inside at Maggots. That's not a place you go for an overtake that often.
Oh no! Micah, here he goes! There's no grip out there. Micah's going bouncing through the infield and trying to rejoin. He's going to rejoin, but he's going to lose a lot of time. He's going to be swallowed up by Gillette if he's not careful. Gillette rounding Chapel. He's got his own problems with Senna Stoffmeal, who seems to have adapted to these conditions pretty well. Stoffmeal right on the back of Joe Gillette as they head into Stowe. It's slippy out there. And round the outside goes Gillette. On the inside then, and they're boxing. They think it's too wet. This is going to be fun. This is going to be extremely fun for the rest of the race. Everyone thinks it's too wet. Look at them all peeling into the pit lane. There's some gamblers. There's some people sticking it out. Koritz thinks it's going to dry out. I have no idea how this is going to go. This is genuinely going to be very exciting now for the next 6 laps.
I'd love to see a radar of what the teams are thinking. I'm sorry, I've broken over Vincent and I didn't actually hear what he was trying to tell us.
What did you say, Vince? Yeah, there's like the whole grid, apart from the leading 5, look, of box, Vincent pointing out. That is exciting. I think they now have to stick this out. If the weather's, well, do they? Because the rain looks like on the radar, it looks like it's going to rain for the next 20 minutes, which is the rest of this race. But how much time is Joe Gillette losing? He's lost. Oh, but there's no grip. Oh, look at that rejoin from Hakimi. And now it's Hakimi, in fact, that takes the lead from Magnussen. Sorry, I got them the wrong way around. But Magnussen then, running wide. They've got no grip. No grip at all. I'd love to see an onboard coming into Cops. To be fair, it's going to be sideways action here from Patrick and Magnussen. He's crawling. They've got no speed at all. Oh, keep it. Oh, it's going to be great, this. And the gap to Gillette from the leader is 23 seconds. Can he close that up over the next 6 laps? I think he can.
Well, the issue KV86 have here is both of those cars are right next to each other, so they can't pit them both at once. And obviously the right strategy now is probably to go onto the wet tires with 2 seconds slower in the first sector on the dry tires, with 3 seconds or up to 5 seconds slower in the second sector. They're losing 7 seconds a lap, so this is not sustainable. And the cars that are pit now, as it is Magnussen who's coming into the pit lane first.
Oh, it's puddles. Look how wet it's got.
There are puddles out on the track. So Magnussen, it'll be interesting to see where he comes out, because Kerala, they've gained 8 seconds just on pitting alone. And that was very close for Hakimi. So it's Hakimi and Micah that are staying out. Interesting.
Yeah, Tuamala has stayed out as well. Kuritz, is he in? No, he stayed out. No, Kuritz is in. Kuritz is in. So I think they've decided Tuamala sticks it out. Who's that? Is that... I can't... that is Tuamala. Sorry, that's the Prost inspired livery for Tuamala. Tuamala stays out. They are... Now that I feel like the gamble's the other way around now. So Joe Gillette is going to sweep by, I think, here and take provisional lead. And through through... No, of course... No, wait, Stoffmeal. So Stoffmeal, so Gillette is in provisionally first place. Stoffmeal provisionally second, and Patrick and Magnussen down to provisionally third. Obviously, that requires the rain to continue for the leading 3, but I think they're going to be swallowed up in no time at all. Tuamala's being eaten. His gap is being eaten into by Gillette, who, absolute masterstroke, I think. Genuinely, he's got in with a great shout here. Look at the gap he's got behind him to Stoffmeal.
Yeah, and Joe Gillette is actually 2 seconds faster than the cars ahead of him in the first sector alone, based on the sector times that we get on RaceView. So it's gone very well for Hunterberg Simulation. They're 15 seconds behind Hakimi on track as well. So realistically, where Hakimi's going to be coming out is just behind Magnussen, somewhere between Corolla, Ockenhaug, and Knott. So they've lost out significantly. They're going to be at least provisionally P6 once they come out of the pit lane. So it really does. I guess some of the people that pit at the first time have made the right call. I mean, Caitlin Penny was probably in the 20s when the rain started falling, as Gillette gets past Tuamala.
And Hakimi gives up. Yeah. So Micah stays out. Micah's gambling that it's going to be okay to carry on. I don't know about that.
I would say that's probably not the right call for him. He's 55 seconds. Joe Gillette's gaining about 9 seconds every lap. In fact, he's gained a bit more than that. He's gained 9, I think, just this time around on its own. But it's going to get even worse as the rain continues to fall for Micah. And there you go, 8 seconds for Joe Gillette, 8.2 faster. So by the end of this lap, Joe Gillette will be right on the back of this Optimal Esports car. So I think now it's just about damage reduction in terms of staying out for Micah.
No, exactly. How well he can do will depend on how much he can keep this on the track. As you rightly point out, he's 8 seconds a lap slower. That's so many seconds. So, this will be very short. Very shortly, it will be an easy switch for the lead, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Gillette is gaining a second just through the corner. We just passed through alone. We see the delta live. I wouldn't trust it that much. It does not take into account the physical gaps on track in terms of being in corners. And Micah struggling through Cops, actually goes off the track. Just getting pushed wide, I think, by not being able to hold onto the car. And there's Gillette in the background. 3 seconds is now the gap. And it was 6 seconds at the start of this lap. And I think Micah has probably made the wrong decision here. But look at Magnussen, who's also only 9 seconds behind Joe Gillette. and also Hakimi, who's 9 seconds behind Gillette. Those have had great pit stops considering they stayed out, but Gillette here is looking to be the candidate to take the lead. 1.9 now, he's gaining a second almost every single corner on Mateusz Majka. Look at the gap that's closed up there in Stowe alone. Gillette was nowhere near Majka at the start of that straight, but now he's right on the back of him.
This isn't going to be taking candy from a baby. This is throwing it straight out the pram. It's literally easy peasy for Joe Gillette, and he sweeps through into the lead of the race, and Hunter Birch lead a race in Formula Sprint 2 once again, and it's Joe Gillette who takes that provisional leading position from Mateusz Majka, who must be massively regretting his decision now. He is going to fall further and further back. Here comes Senna Stoffmeal. He's got so much more grip on the wet tyres. He's going to drive straight around the outside in Abbey, and through he goes. Easy peasy. Couldn't be easier.
Yeah, no, I do think this is probably the wrong decision now. He's going to be probably losing 10 seconds a lap now at this point, because the rain has continued to fall. You can see how much he's struggling on those dry tyres. And
yeah,
at this rate, I'm putting him at the back end of the points.
I don't even think he's going to be there. I think he could easily be P20-21 at the end of this race. 10 seconds a lap with 4 laps left. I think he could be around where Mike Bell is. And that's a huge loss of time. And that, of course, even if he pits now, that's a 30-second loss. So, you know, he's going to be, 19th. He's got to stick it out now and hope it doesn't rain anymore, because with 4 laps left, 3 laps is not enough to gain that time back on a brand new set of wets, unfortunately for him, that it would have done pitting. But everyone who pitted must be super happy with their choice right now.
Yeah, Hakimi also gets past Patrick and Magnussen, so a swap for the KV86 drivers. I would suspect they think that Hakimi has the best chance, who's just going to, I would expect, just drive past Majka here, who just can't get on the throttle fast enough. Look at how much of a better exit those KV86 cars have compared to Majka, and it's just evidence that pitting was absolutely the right decision when the rain started to fall. Hakimi giving the slipstream to Magnussen there just to help the pass get done if it wasn't going to get done already in Stowe. I don't think that these KV86 drivers are going to have the opportunity to catch up to the leader here. Well, there will only two laps to go by the time they cross the line. To Amala, he was P3 before the pit stops. He's still out on dry tyres, actually, and he has fallen down as well. He was just behind Mateusz Majka, and I don't think it's the right... I mean, you're just going to lose anyway, so going into the pit
either
lane.
way, it's a 30-second loss. You stay out or you pit, it's the 30-second loss, and I think, you know, if you pit now, at least you're going to finish. Whereas if you stay out on the dries, it might be a bit tricky to do so. But yeah, they must be all gutted that they've made that decision, to be fair.
Yeah, but the good news for KV86 here is, is that Corolla round. Yeah, it's Corolla and Majka round, and I would probably have to blame Majka now for being out on those dry tyres and probably being a bit of a liability on track for the other drivers who are just trying to get past him, who have so much more grip. And it's probably just a bit of a danger to everyone on track. I do have to feel for Corolla.
Yeah.
Let's see if it was Majka's fault. Ooh, what? Yeah, so has no grip whatsoever. He's driving on ice here, and that's absolutely Majka's fault.
It's Majka's fault, but I mean, I understand. You know, it's just he's locked up, just gone straight to the scene of the accident. But I'm amazed there's not. Oh, it's Terence Greck. I don't think much of that was.
This was the start of the race.
Oh, this is ages ago, yeah.
Yeah, this was lap 2, and this is a pile-up we had, and
not ideal.
Not a pile-up we had.
Thanks for that, Vince. The leaders, we're just catching up on some replays that we missed earlier, I guess. So this is Svilo and okay.
That's just an assault, I think.
Not ideal. Whatever happened there. There's a little bit of sending going on, a bit out of sorts. This is what happened to Mike Bell. He went inside here. Is it the curb of death? That's super unlucky. Has he hit the barrier? He's got away with it.
Just avoid it.
Oh, he was so lucky not to keep that actually in a straight line. But yeah, he'll be once again unhappy. He's got in the wars again. And this is Kurt Brodtjav.
Nice little move, I think it'll be. Oh, no, not a nice little move. It
That's
was
the one we saw. Yeah. I just don't think he was far enough alongside, to be honest.
Yeah. Braking a bit too late into Stowe, and you make contact, and we've cut to something here, and it doesn't look that good. Muscat is out of this race now, and I would imagine this is what happened to him. Look how much they're just struggling.
Whoa! Oh, no!
He's out of the track.
Where's he ended up?
What happened there?
Well,
So Savinsky,
some poor driving, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So that's the academy. We saw that happen. We saw Curtis go around, and
Just a whole bunch of rubbish driving. That's all that was, to be fair. It's the same incident again. Well, I want to see where he ended up. He must have been dangerously close to those people in the grandstand there, to be fair. Look at this nonsense.
Yeah, that is just not his fault at all. And oh, wow.
He's gone way over the barrier. Oh, no, he's ended up in the barrier. Right, live action, by the way, because the leaders are very close together. And Stoffmeal is within a second of Joe Gillette. Only 9/10, and there's 2 laps to go. There's actually only 1 lap to go after this. Micah P60 is out the points. So, and only dropping further back, unfortunately, for Matouche. From pole position, he is not going to score a solitary point, which is very unfortunate for him. But Gillette is clinging on from Stoffmeal, who has slowly catchy monkey caught him. And I would say Stoffmeal, I would rather be the hunter than the hunted Hunter Birch simulation driver right now.
Genuinely, I think that's the worst pun we've made all season. Anyway, last lap of the race, and Stoffmeal is closing up so much there through these corners. He's 6/10 behind. As long as he gets the better exit, he's going to have a run, probably, on Joe Gillette here. Who, it's saying Stoffmeal was slower last lap, but look at the slipstream he's now going to have down the straights. And I would say this is easily a move at the later half of the lap. Supposing that he stays close to Gillette here. Not much to say other than that. We're just waiting for something to happen. We're just waiting for these cars to get closer together if there is going to be a race to the end here. But Gillette has got the better exit heading towards Stowe. Not Stowe, that's not Stowe, that's Copse Corner.
Copse, yep.
I stand corrected. And Stoffmeal, I think he has a bit more grip, whereas just driving a bit less carefully.
Senate is so close. This is going to have to be precision driving from Gillette. He has to be absolutely razor sharp with his reflexes and hold onto that car through this middle sector. Stoffmeal is gaining as they head onto the hangar straight. Can Gillette prove that he's a cut above the rest today, or will it be Stoffmeal who takes that first place from him as they head towards Stowe on the final lap of this race? And sweeping through goes Gillette. It's Stoffmeal gaining on him through the corner. He's only 3/10 behind. Is he close enough for a big old send into club? He's not, but Gillette goes half defensive. It's going to be all about the exit from the club chicane. Gillette squeezing the power on, trying to get the traction, but for Hunter Birch, it's going to be Joe Gillette taking a victory here at Silverstone in the very, very wet, and Gillette proves that he is just like a perfect shave. Well done, Joe.
Yeah, razor sharp margin between Stoffmeal and Gillette at the front there. Less than a 10th across the line. Stoffmeal just needed another lap, and that would have been his win. But congratulations.
It was such a close shave. Such a close shave between the two.
Oh dear. I think we've overused that joke now. I think twice was enough, and now...
Now it's too many? Okay.
Yes, now it's too many.
Oh, fair. Ooh. Anyway, congratulations, Joe. Well done, Senna. And Patrick Magnussen.
Wow.
Patrick Magnussen takes P3 from Hakimi. And James Knox, who I don't think I mentioned 1 time in this entire race, P5, as Bell doesn't spin over the line because that ain't the line. Oh, Mike! Got away with it. But, yeah, not ideal. But Joe, what a drive. He's drifting around Luffield. And look at the fans. They look like they're enjoying every second of that as he drifts his way through and almost spins it. Through he goes. They're dangerous in a dangerous position, those fans there, to be fair. Not sure that's proper. But yes, well done, Joe Gillette and Hunter. I'm sure Ed Hunter is going mad in the YouTube comment section right now, or YouTube chat, I should say. His team getting a victory at Silverstone. So the results then: Joe Gillette takes P1 from Senna Stoffmeal, Patrick Magnussen P3, Mika Hakimi 4th, James Knott 5th, Kurt Rotiav 6th place, Magnus Hockenhaus 7th, Jonas Karala in 8th place with Kasper Koritz and Craig Patterson rounding out the top 10. 11th place, Damir Koratko with Caitlin Penny taking 12th place. And that gamble on early switch to wets working out for them. Kirstus Philo, 13th place, Jörn Dix 14th, and rounding out the points, Tom Parker. Youngstra, Vicentievich, Micah, Turmala and Hayek round out the top 20. 21st is Mike Bell with Terence Grech, Johannes Leppert, Florian Hazer, Lucas Habra, Mano Manikandan, Jason Muscat, Philip Travinsky, Aaron Curtis and Nick Cowper rounding out the top 30. In fact, Florian Hazer down of DNF, and that includes Bobby Vakuinov, who speared into the wall on the first lap. What a race. I need a breather and a drink. Water, brackets. And we will see you momentarily for race 2. Welcome back, everybody. It is still wet. It is still Silverstone. It's still Formula Sprint 2, but we now have another race, and it is a reverse grid race. And if you are new to GPVWC, welcome. Sometimes it's a bit more professional than Formula Sprint 2, I would say. But welcome nonetheless. Hope you're enjoying yourself as much as we are. We always enjoy ourselves, don't we, Alex?
Oh yes, much fun. And hopefully the drivers are enjoying themselves. Wet circuit. I don't know how many drivers enjoy wet, to be honest.
I mean, in real life, it's a lot of fun because you can use different lines, and iRacing have just introduced that, of course. We don't have that in R Factor 2. It's still better to be on the racing line in wet conditions, but in real life, it's a lot of fun to try and search out the alternative lines and use the bits of track you don't normally use for the best possible grip. And in R Factor 2, you do want to be on that drying or racing line. The more you go over it, the drier it gets. And it looks like it could be a gamble again for race 2, because this right here is the crossover, I would say. It's a little bit damp, as Sharko is proving. Oh, sorry, this is TC Youngstra. I'm looking at Oliver Sharko on his halo, but it's actually TC Youngstra standing in. But you can see that racing line. There's still puddles on the track, but it's thinking about gravitating towards slicks, as Patrick Magnussen is out there on a set of dry tyres. And although Youngstra is currently P1 and offline it is super slippy, online it's going to be dry. So I think it could be another gamble, and I do love me a gamble.
You wanna have a giggle, Toby? Dan Hayek went in and pitted at the wet crossover, neglecting to remember to switch his tyres to wet tyres and put on another set of dries in pit lane. I just thought I'd bring it up, so I found that quite humorous.
I was hoping you'd speak for a little longer. I've got a chocolate hobnob here.
Oh my goodness, this absolute... I can't even think of a word to call him, to be honest.
What?
Barbaric, man.
What's barbaric about a chocolate hobnob?
Nothing's barbaric about a chocolate hobnob, but what is barbaric? What's barbaric about chocolate? Is speaking while you put a chocolate hobnob in your mouth. It is. We're looking at a car going around the track, though. That might be interesting. A minute left in warm-up, so you won't have to listen to this for much longer. We will be getting to a race soon-ish. Probably not 40 seconds, as much as I wish that all the drivers would go back to the pit lane and we can start the race immediately. Many drivers like to stay out on track for some reason, I've noticed.
What's your snack of choice?
It depends, to be honest.
What did you say, Vince? Shortbread. Yeah. Well, I can get behind shortbread. I do like a biscuit. Chocolate hobnobs are my favourite. This is my snackle for the evening, which kindly provided to me by girlfriend TM. So thank you. Yeah, thank you, Tash, for my chocky biscuits. Can't beat a chocky biscuit. I don't think you can. As a mid-evening snack.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you have, really, available. When it comes
Well, I mean,
to
I think pretty much everyone could get a chocolate biscuit and decide. I mean, I would say packet of crisps is quite good, but again, flavour dependent, isn't it? I mean, what's your? I mean, mine's cheese and onion. Got to be cheese and onion.
Yeah, for like, it depends on how I feel on a certain day, but I think cheese and onion is the best go-to. Unless you're getting Pringles, and then it's sour cream and onion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only exception, I think, to cheese.
I mean, for average day-to-day use, cheese and onion crisps. But if you're feeling a bit sort of spicy on the weekend, the sensations. You can get a sweet chili sensations. Sweet silly, unbelievable.
Sweet silly sensations. Try saying that 3 times fast.
No thanks.
couldn't
I'll
even
start
say it once.
stuttering. No, I'll start stuttering all over the show.
Can people just go to the pit lane? I want to watch the race and not you drive around the track and almost bin it. Please? Please? Anyone? Thanks, Tom, for listening. I appreciate it. Race? No, we don't want to go to a race, apparently. Most of these drivers want to stay and warm up.
I mean, I don't mind. We can still talk about snacks.
I think you're too busy devouring yours. There we go. We're going to the race now.
Devouring strong. I delicately nibbled away at that particular one in the hope that I could still maintain adequate speech.
Did you just punch your desk?
No, unfortunately, that was my cat
Ah, okay.
rubbing on the microphone.
We haven't had meow today, though.
No, she's comfortable today. She's not, shouting at me for no reason.
That's
Which she
rare.
normally does. Oh, nice. Vincent's talking to me about sensations, I think, probably. Mate, crisps are amazing in the UK. It's because we love potatoes. Yeah, no Walkers. Okay. Yeah, no Walkers. I mean, there's so many different flavors of Walkers. You can get like Marmite Walkers. If you haven't had Marmite Walkers crisps, they are amazing.
You're a
I know a lot.
monster. You deserve to fall over.
Do you not like Marmite?
Not even one bit. Just...
Oh my god, Marmite's the best thing ever.
Same with Bovril.
Bovril's horrible, I agree with that. It's not as, well, in comparison to Marmite. I mean, that's like eating Tesco chocolate versus Cadbury's chocolate. Right, Jörn Dix is on pole. We've not mentioned it. He is the reverse grid lottery winner for today. So Dix takes that pole position from Spilo. Caitlin Penny, therefore, P3. Keep an eye on her. Damir Kuratko for Hunter Birch, P4. Row 3 is Craig Patterson and Kasper Kuric with Eunice Carrala and Magnus Ockenhaug on row 4, 5. I've lost count. Kurt Rotjav and James Knox, P9, P10, P11, Mika Hakimi and Patrick Magnussen, P12, P13, Senna Stoffmeal. Joe Gillette, our race 1 winner, in 14th. Tom Parker misses out on the reverse grid by position. He is 15th place, and TC Youngstra 16th. 17th, Mihailo Vincentievich and Matusz Majka in 18th, with Mikhail Tuamala and Dan Hayek 19th and 20th. 21st is Mike Bell with Terence Scrett 22nd, Johannes Leppit and Florian Hazer 23rd and 24th. P25 goes to Lucas Habra, with Mano Manikandan in 26th place, Jason Muscat and Filip Chavinsky 27th and 28th. 29th place is Aaron Curtis with Nick Cowper in 30th and Bobby Vakuinov 31st. And I am looking at the weather and it says no more rain for the foreseeable.
And we've got two drivers out on wet tyres.
Yeah, and I think
Manakandan.
I think those two will regret that choice.
I would have to say so, that it is probably not going to end well for them, but maybe the radars are wrong and there's rain on the way for those two drivers, although I suspect they'll be pulling into the pits rather immediately, so a race over almost immediately for Habra and Manakandan, taking a gamble that was rather not needed unless it was forgot to change their setup from race 1, in which case that's really unfortunate, isn't it, for them?
Yeah.
But either way, cars that crashed on race 1 are now back in the race. There's one of them. That is the Friesland Racing of Nick Kuiper, who his aim for this race is merely to finish. And I think that's quite modest. Here's Bobby Vakuinov, who we saw going into the wall and lining up.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see how he lines up here. There's no grid slot. It's amazing. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Right. Let's count the lights. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. And now there isn't, and we're away. And Jørn Dix does hold on to the lead. He sweeps through into turn 1 and leads the way. It is drier on the left side of the grid, so he gets the better getaway. And through goes Dix, and he takes the lead on this first lap. Down the inside, though, immediately pressuring him. And round the outside now goes the Reading Game car, and through into the lead and past Jørn Dix. And this is going to be one of those races where you have to stay on the dry line and do not deviate from that, as we've got some chaos further back. But nevertheless, through we go into Brooklands and Luffield, and it's game on for everyone on 6, which is everyone bar 2, because it is definitely drying out. Curtis Philo takes the lead. I apologise, I completely forgot who the other driver was for Reading Game. But Philo takes the lead. Dix and Karatko P2 and P3.
Nightmare start for Caitlin Penny. She was P3 and now down to P5 they are, and they were about to get overtaken once more by Craig Patterson, who's now under pressure by Magnus Ockenhaug, and you don't see many moves happening here in Maggots and Beckett's, and there you go, there's a dry line, and that's Magnussen off, and we'll have to slot back in behind Ockenhaug, and it's getting contact with Kurt Rochov, and it doesn't seem to have affected Patrick Magnussen, but Rochov is outside of the points now, and I can't really put blame, as I don't know what's happening. Jørn Dix under pressure by Kasper Kuritz. Dix has got overtaken by Daniel Karatko. So this is the second Hunter Birch racing car up onto the podium. And Mika Hakami is behind the Patrick Madison. I can't think and form a sentence here. But the two KB86s are about battling through the final corner. And they're up to P9 and P10. They started 12th and 11th, so good start for them, getting past 2 drivers. Gillette up to P12, started P14, and Micah has got up to P13 himself.
Oh, Gillette's diving down the inside there. That's not going to work. He's going to go into a half spin, and unfortunately for him, going to lose a bunch of positions because it's so early on in the race. Oh, there's a half spin there. Oh no! It's Tom Parker. It's chaos, and it's over. They are mating.
What?
They were conjoined.
What now?
They were conjoined. They were together. They were as one. And unfortunately, that is the end of Tom Parker's race in a fairly monumental way. Jørn Dix has moved down, unfortunately for him, to P4 off the line. There's another Lello flag in Sector 1. Not sure what that's for. Lello flag.
Okay.
And not sure what that's for. Obviously, there was a lot of nonsense due to Tom Parker's spin, but we'll find out what that Lello was for. James Knox, though, P8 for RNG, quietly kept himself clean. Kept his nose clean in the first race. I hope he keeps himself clean. And he's going to try his best to sneak his way up through these positions and gain positions and move into the higher points paying positions. Ockenhaug here on the inside of Caitlin Penny, who, unfortunately for her, does not seem to have the pace. Here comes Knox, look, straight through on the inside, gains position. Now he's going to be challenging Ockenhaug on the outside of club. That's not going to work. Tries the cutback. Oh, I love it. Round the outside on the drier line. Not quite enough room there for him, unfortunately. But nevertheless, gained from Penny, and Patrick Madison thought about it. It's a brave person that goes into Abbey side by side, especially with the wet lines that they're still having to contend with. Caitlin Penny nearly losing the car entirely and braking on the inside as well, where it's damp means that they will run wide. No, Caitlin! No! Patrick Magnussen sent it down the inside, and unfortunately not able to make it stick, primarily because that was from not Northamptonshire, not Buckinghamshire, but probably Scotland that Caitlin sent that move from.
Are we talking actual English? I feel like none of us can form a sentence at this point. Joe Gillette makes the move for P10 on Mikhail Tuamala. I think it's the special liveries, you know. I
It's
think
not.
that's what it is.
My problem is
No.
I've got chocolate hobnob stuck in my teeth.
Okay. No, it's a special liveries as far as I care. James Knox up to P7, Joe Gillette behind Patrick Magnussen. We did miss Mika Hakimi, and that's Vincent going wide. And dig, we can't speak English today. Guatemala looks to the inside at Maggots, not a place you make an overtake. And oh, there's contact. I think that was between Mike Bell and Caitlin Penny. Although I might just be imagining things at this point. Who knows?
Here is Micah. Through past James Knox. And Micah, we know, had bags of pace in race 1. Somehow has got up to 7th place already. And I feel like might be a contender here. Everyone in front of them was definitely slower overall in pace. Although Kirstis Philo is setting a 52.2. That's pretty good for Kirstis. Let's have a look at some replays, see what some of those yellow flags were for. What's happening here to Habra?
Oh, that's sad. This is what Vincent Havich. I imagine he's out of the race, so let's see what happened to him. 3 wide, that's never, that's just not happening, ever.
Well,
happening.
Yeah, what's happening now though?
Was
No,
that it?
yep.
That was the entire clip.
Yep.
There's Haber going round again. Vakinov.
On the back of
happened to him?
Sentievich.
Yep. Is this a murder that we're about to witness? Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't Sentievich's fault. That was definitely on Bobby Vakinov, that one.
Yeah. So it wasn't a murder. It was just a bit of contact between two cars. Manakandan.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened to him. He's down in 25th, and he just goes wide, and he's going to spin, I would imagine. No, he just goes wide. Is that it? Oh, there's contact here.
No, there's something else is going to happen here.
Apex. Oh, this isn't going to end well, is it? Oh,
Well,
no.
ooh,
There's
that was
Magnussen.
Magnussen's fun rejoin. I wonder if Kurt Rotyard spinning here, as a result of Magnussen's rejoin, caused some nonsense further back.
No,
No?
nothing.
That was very uninteresting.
Yep. But on board would be good for this one. Let's see what happened here. Did Magnussen
Oh
turn
no!
in?
Oh, it's just such a bad rejoin that from Patrick. It was. It's worse on the. It's worse on the replay.
It's hard to make a judgment there, as that's the good area for Eki and Era. Look how many cars there are.
Oh, that was
wow.
just rubbish. Who was that? Who was it? Mano. Absolutely rubbish. Sorry, you can't.
Okay.
You've got to brake in a straight line and give people room, man. You can't like dive towards them in the braking zone. Now, this is Tom Parker, and this was equally terrible. Unfortunately, he won't mind me saying that. He'll know. Oh dear.
That's
Oh
not.
no.
I
Oh,
can't
gosh.
blame him for anything that happened.
And then
there,
they
apart from
became
spinning.
one.
Yeah. Oh, Karatko, fastest lap of the race, 5 tenths behind Christus Velo. Sorry, we're watching replays here. but
Don't
we might
apologise
just
for
have a
talking about the
battle
real racing.
at the start of the race. Oh, and that's what happened to Hakimi and Stoffmeal, and I would say that's Hakimi's fault there. Anyway, to the lead, the battle for the lead. Karatko going wide at Cops, but this is the gap between them. Svilo
Could Hunter
and
Birch?
Karatko, 0.7.
Could Hunter Birch take a double? I mean, Karatko's in great position to do so. There's a huge gap back to from Kurtz to Dix. So although Micah might have the pace, has he got the laps? I just don't think he has. And he's got to get through all the cars. I think this could be our podium we're looking at here, one way or another.
Yeah, unless something monumental happens, like rain. That would be pretty interesting.
Ooh,
Just
let's
if it
check the weather.
Switched on right now as Hakimi puts Kerala under pressure on the circuit while you're checking the weather. We've got a
Yeah,
bit of racing going
there is
on.
no weather coming. Well, no, sorry. I mean, obviously there's weather coming.
There is weather.
There's definitely weather happening. Everywhere in the world right now there is weather. It's just there's no
Correct.
rain weather. Oh, no, what's going on? It's just it's again rubbish into club. And this time Karala just rear-ending. I don't understand. It's such an easy corner. You just brake in a straight line. So Mike Bell again getting thumped out of the race by just someone not being able to drive. It's bonkers. What's going on? What's going on here?
What is happening?
No! Oh goodness! I've got my hand in front of my face.
Oh no!
It's useless again. Who's that?
Crack. That was Terrence Crack.
Like, why have the
the
driving
end,
standards dropped off a cliff in race 2? Any reason? It's dry now. It's not even raining. Absolutely awful.
Yeah,
What are we looking? Like, obviously this rejoin is not ideal, but there was space for him to do so.
No, it
What
just
are you
doesn't-
doing, Terrence? Like,
It doesn't
in
even
what
brake.
world is that going to work?
He was half braking through the entirety of
He was
that
about,
braking
he was
zone.
about 8 car lengths back.
And then
And
is
this
the
from
assault on
Carvalho,
Mike Bell.
unless Mike Bell's braking 20 yards early, which I don't believe, he's just full on misjudged it. Like, he was going for a move, but just ended up hitting the rear quarter of poor Mike Bell, who had absolutely nothing to do with that particular incident. Again, unless he braked early, but I don't see any reason for him to do so in that particular situation. Micah is up to P5 and will soon be battling away with Jörn Dix, I would imagine. But yeah, that was just a crazy few
It was some of
couple
the
of
driving
minutes.
of all time. Yeah.
It was just rubbish after rubbish. I hate saying that in FS2 because quite often it's really good racing, but I mean that was just not good from anyone.
No, it really, really wasn't. Micah very close to the grass on the inside of the first corner, and looks to the inside of Jörn Dix and gets the move very tidily done. And Patterson will be looking to capitalise on this as well. Already on the diffuser. Just about everyone in this battle here is. Magnussen's on the back of them, up to P8, got past James Knox, presumably. Gillette down in P10 for Hunter Birch. But Damon Karatko also still on for a podium as Patterson and Dix here try to go side by side. And Dix is going wide here. And I was expecting to be a bad rejoin. Ockenhaug under pressure by Magnussen as well. The two Magnuses is first and last name battling.
I don't. It confuses me too. Don't worry. At least Tuomella's not here.
Tuomela. That'll be an interesting.
Why
battle
are you
to see.
touching
They're
into
side
quads
by
cops?
side in cops?
Like-
And why are you touching on a straight? How?
But this is,
How?
why just drive in a straight line? Why are they weaving about on the straight like little tiny micro adjustments? And they came together. That could have been a huge incident. That's the sort of driving that causes huge incidents. It's not one driver this race; it's the whole grid.
You almost tried to say a different word that you're not allowed to say there, Toby.
No, I didn't.
As,
Here we go.
Magnussen's actually got a great run on Jörn Dix here, looking into Doe and
Jörn's-
the inside.
Jörn's not been
Very lucky to begin
Jörn's
today.
not been squeaky clean this season at all. But by far and away, he's been the cleanest driver we've watched so far as he sends it down the inside and smashes into the side of... I give up, man. Like, why do I start a sentence like that and watch Jörn just send it on the inside of Patrick Magnussen smash into his sideboard? What is the point? I was literally just in the middle of praising him for being so, like, willing to allow people room, and he just launches down the inside into club. Like, never going to work.
I think...
It can't be commentator's curse, bruv.
I think you should stop, like, complimenting people. I think that's what it is.
Just
It is.
Honestly.
You're complimenting people.
so brain dead multiple times in this race. Just absence of brain cells has been the cause of all of these incidents.
Oh, wow.
Here's Magnus Ockenhaug, and he's got race 1 winner Joe Gillette, who's sneaking his way through on the inside, trying to open up the gap. Wide goes Ockenhaug. He's going to lose 2 positions here. It's going to be... why is he giving... Okay, so
More-
Gillette took the position, then gave the slipstream. Oh, no. Everyone's head's completely fallen off in this race, hasn't it?
Oh, yep. And there's Hakimi.
Oh, 3 wide into Maggots! Somehow they come out on the other side. That was just like 2005, 2006 GP2 with Hamilton, PK, and someone who now
Hakimi.
races in IndyCar.
It's off.
It's all kicking off. Karatko has not gained this lap, by the way. I think the gap's kind of stabilised.
Are they trying to give us heart attacks? Hakimi goes wide. Almost collects Ockenhaug on the way back onto the track.
Hakimi manages to break in a straight line for Club. That was relatively easy, wasn't it? Yeah, someone could do it.
Petrocov gets past Magnus Ockenhaug in the final corner, side by side into turn 1. Why are you moving over Magnus?
I don't know.
Why? Actually,
I don't know. They're still side by side as we head through Abbey. And in fact, he's still there on the inside is Rotiav. Not able to make that move this time round. Ockenhaug holds on. Patterson and Magnussen are extremely close, by the way, on track. 5th and 6th place. They're less than a couple of tenths. In fact, they're going to go side by side into Brooklands. And Magnussen is braked about 100 meters too late for that corner. And thrown away the opportunity to take the position from Patterson. I don't understand what's going on.
I think all of our drivers have forgotten how to drive throughout this race. It's quite impressive, actually, how we've managed it. Drivers moving on the straights for no apparent reason. That
stuff just winds me up. Something is like, I don't get it. Why are you weaving about on the straight though, Alex?
Especially with a car right next to you, it's not something you should move with a car next to you, and that's exactly what he was doing when he was under attack by Kurt Rochov, who's now just about 8 tenths behind him, and maybe played into his hands a little bit.
Look at the weaving going on further back as well, by the way. Like, that's at least three too many weaves. Don't know the exact regulation on that. Captain Gutt will tell us probably. You can weave as much as you want, provided the car isn't close enough to overtake.
I'm willing to say a car next to you is close enough to overtake.
I don't think that should be revisited. I'll have a word with Chris Butcher. Anyway,
well, it's a thing.
Well, clearly you can just wibble your way down the wobbly straight.
Yep. Nope. Magnussen going sideways, not the racing line. Don't go sideways. Not ideal for your rear tires or your grid or anything for that matter.
I tell you what,
don't race. I think that's the solution to having a clean race is just not to attend.
Just don't have race 2. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if that will just mean that race 1's the rubbish race then.
Should we like have a potluck and the amount of reports that are going to come out of this race?
Oh, I mean, it should be, and it should be a lot. Yeah.
I think on this one.
Well, I don't know if "should be gambling" is the right terminology for.
We could be gambling
for any circumstance in life. You know what you should do? Gambling. You should gamble. Thanks, Alex. Pro tip of the week.
90% of gamblers quit before they win big.
Oh goodness, Kasper Kuritz has caught Karatko, who has maintained that 1 second gap to Svilo. It's not all completely over at the front of the field. Kuritz has actually got slightly better pace than the two in front of him, I would argue. But I mean, of course, the nonsense is happening from Dix backward. I mean, if you look at where those gaps are, you've got Magnussen right behind Dix. You've got Knox and Gillette behind them, and then he's quite close in that kind of gaggle. Chavinsky and Stoffmehl. Stoffmehl has not progressed. What happened to him, by the way? He spun, of course. Just a little incident.
Well, Christos Svilo is in the lead and marginally getting catched by Karatko each lap. Caught, catched, English.
Caught.
Well, it's the British Grand Prix, not the English lesson Grand Prix. So, I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to correct you. Just that was supposed to be an internal voice. I do apologise, Alex. You say catched as much as you like, my friend.
It caught, catched. I'm not.
He is, though. You're right. He is. And here comes Magnussen on Dix.
Is he going to do the same?
Why are you swerving, Jörn? Honestly.
Can we just have a moment of silence? Just reflect on driving.
Like, no, like there was no harm, but why is he giving it a little jink left? There's just no need.
that could have easily taken both cars out of that race if
super easily. Here we go. Here's Stoffmeal. Yeah, but you know,
whatever. Just
they weren't alongside each other.
yeah, but they still had a chance to overtake. But Senna Stoffmeal, I imagine, is probably a bit frustrated now behind the Scuderia Canara car, who's almost spinning at almost every possible opportunity, it seems, and he's going to have slipstream.
Yeah, this should be relatively straightforward. I'd imagine he's got enough of a toe here. Well, we're going to go side by side. Stoffmeal on the rubbered in line though. Oh no! Oh, that was so close. But through goes Stoffmeal. That was so close from Chavinsky. And now Jason Muscat trying to improve on his race 1 result, try and get that last points paying position in 15th. We've got 2 laps to go. Karatko is within 7/10 of Svilo, so it's a bit closer than they have been. Excuse me. They were a bit closer than they have been. But not... Oh, it's 5/10 now. Look at this gap coming down. There's only 2 laps left.
And it's just gone up to 7. What is going on timing? Hello?
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's pretty accurate, but not ideal.
He is gaining, though. He has gained 3 tenths in the first sector alone, or 2 tenths in the first sector alone. And I imagine that battle would look pretty interesting at the front. But also, there's Kasper Kuritz, who's 6 tenths behind Damir Karatko as well. So we're going to have a last lap battle here, like we did in race 1, which was between Joe Gillette and a driver. Who? Driver? Who was it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're watching the race for the lead here in race 2 as Kasper Kuritz sends it nicely through the grass there. And it was Senna Stoffmeal. Thank you, Ed Hunter, for that correction.
I love how he just says Senna Stoffmeal and we know what he means. Yeah, Stoffmeal nearly got the win, but held on to by Gillette. But of course, sister car, Karatko. 1 lap to go. Kirsten Svilo's led from the very first corner. Can he hold on for another lap? It's going to be super close, this, you know, because there is a lot of slipstream left in this race. A lot of time left in this race, really. It's a long old lap. It's not all over by any stretch of the imagination. And through the loop they go. And this is the closest Karatko's been as they head onto the Wellington Straight. Alex, who's your money on? Is Svilo going to hold out, or is Karatko going to get close enough to make a move? Svilo already feeling the need to go a little defensive. It's going to be tight into the final few corners of this race. Svilo a little bit missing the apex there. He's a bit wide. Lost another 10th. It's down to, well, it was briefly down to under 0.4 of a second. And it's going to be super close, this.
Yeah, it's going to go right to the line here. This was a similar gap that we saw in race 1 for the Hunter Birch, who was in the lead then. 3 attempts now through Kopp's corner. And Karatko will have the dirty air, but will Svilo be able to manage the pressure? It's 7 attempts now through Kopp's, and you just see the effect of that dirty air so much through the fast corners, and Karatko's going to be losing out the entire time along this, while Svilo is actually struggling quite a bit. And I think Karatko has sort of fell back a bit too far now, unless he's able to have a huge straight line speed advantage down the straight. I don't think it's going to happen for the Hunter Birch racing car, but there's still 3 corners left, or 3 actual corners left for Chris Svilo to even make a mistake. It's absolutely possible here. But I think for him, as long as he's careful in these last 2 corners now, it will be the win for him. Takes it tidy through the last 2 corners, and hopefully, unless he doesn't make a mistake here, he will be crossing the line ahead of the Hunter Birch Simulation racing car for Reading Game Studios to win. And for the first time, Chris Svilo, in his only 2nd race in FS2, does take the line to checkered flag to win the race. Karatko for Hunter Birch, a double podium for them today. And this is Joe Gillette to the line, fighting James Knox, and why is there contact across the line?
I mean, why not? There's been contact throughout the race from a variety of drivers. We can't not expect it at this point, unfortunately. It's been pretty average driving standards-wise, but what a drive by Svilo. We cannot take the negative energy and give it to Svilo. He's been unbelievable this race, super consistent, held on nicely, defended where he needed to, and he takes the victory for Reading Game Studios from Damir Karatko and Kasper Kuritz. And those three, absolutely the class of the field in race 2. Micah ending up P4 after a brilliant drive from him. So take us through the results, Alex. I think the top 3 at least were superb.
Absolutely. And it is Christos Svilo who takes the win here at Great Britain Race 2 for Reading Game Studios, with Damir Karatko, who contributes a double podium here at Silverstone, their home race pretty much for them. Gets second place. Kasper Kuritz is P3 with Matusz Majka, Craig Patterson and Patrick Magnussen behind him. Ian Dix is 7th with James Knox in 8th with Joe Gillette, the second Hunter Birch in P9. A good race for them all round. Magnus Lockenhaug rounds out the top 10. There we go. In 11th place, it's Mikhail Tuomala for Cap Clay with Mika Hakimi behind him. Not the greatest of race 2s, with a bit of a mistake made early on in the race, causing him to drop back through the order. Kurt Rochov behind him with Senna Stoffmeal and Philip Savinsky rounding out the top 15. Jason Muscat barely missing out on points for Apex Grand Prix, P16. Thijs Jongstra is 17th with Florian Haase 18th, and the other Apex in 19th of Terence Grech. Jonas Krala rounds out the top 20. In 21st from P3 it is Caitlin Penny with Johan Lepet behind them. Mike Bell lines up 23rd with Nick Kuiper, the first of the retirements in the race, P24. And we're going to see quite a few retirements. Mana Manakan and Lupus Habra, Bobby Vakanov, Dan Hayek, Aaron Curtis and Tom Parker all out of the race. And someone else, Mihailo Vicentajevic, also out of the race after a bit of contact on lap 1. And yes, that was quite the race indeed. And
Twas quite the race.
Retirements is very sad, actually.
I concur. German Grand Prix next, 2 weeks' time. We are at Hockenheim this season, which I think is gone down well with the drivers versus the Nürburgring we were at last season. And that should be an interesting one, again, because of the long straights and the opportunities for slipstream that provides. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, we are back as GPVWC in 2 days' time for Formula Sprint 1, which hopefully will be just as exciting as the last couple of races you just witnessed. Yeah, hopefully a little cleaner. That is in 2 days' time on Thursday. But right now, it's interview time. So we'll just switch to our interview screen. Just like that. Just like magic. We actually don't have anyone waiting for an interview here, Alex.
Should we interview ourselves?
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
Congratulations on another wonderful commentary performance.
Yep, thank you.
We have Ed Hunter. Let's give him a good go, because I think Ed will be very proud of a race victory in race 1. So, Mr. Hunter, half of the Hunter Birch simulation team, but you must be super proud of taking a victory in race 1.
Well, first off, sorry to interrupt your own private interview that you were just having. But yeah, I can't disguise that I'm very, very happy with the way things went today. I think a day of firsts. First win for Joe, who obviously he got on the podium in Abu Dhabi last season when he was filling in at ST Racing, but that was just beautiful to watch. I was begging for him to go in and pit for the wet tyres, and I'm so glad that he did. I think Joe can join us as well, which is great. But and then Damir getting the P2. Obviously, reverse grid helped put him onto the second row, but he was just still fighting for it right at the end. And we are technically in a partnership with Reading Games, so me and Tom know each other very well. And I was worried that if Damir passed Christos right at the end, that Tom would never speak to me again. I need to work with him because we've both got a paid gig commentating on go-karting at the moment for Elite Karting Series in the UK. So it would have been awkward if Damir had stolen it from Christos, or if they bumped into each other. But luckily, I should never have doubted Christos, either of them really, because they did a fantastic job not running into each other. But yeah, obviously Joe, the big highlight, and there was that crazy finish with Senna Stoffmeal. It was catching, even though because Stoffmeal pit ahead of Joe, and I'm still not sure quite how we got out ahead. I think there must have been some trouble in the fast lane on the pit exit that stopped Stoffmeal from getting out ahead of Joe, and that was really what made the win possible today. But Joe, full credit to him, he made the right calls, and he didn't slip up under immense pressure. So, what can I say? I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, as you should be. But yeah, congratulations. You love a good plug, don't you, Eds? But well done.
Yes, we can watch all my videos. Yes.
Oh, God.
Where I'm also on Thursday. So.
Oh my goodness. Right, thank you, Ed.
Right,
well done, mate.
FS2 is better.
And if Josh, if you're watching, this is for you as well, and to everyone else at Hunter Birch, she's done a fantastic, and Justin Van Der Spissen, who did our livery, which I heard you guys critiquing early in the broadcast. So
I don't know. The
Justin will be
Jaguar,
happy to see it,
I like the Jaguar livery. I was impressed with the HSB logo. I love that.
That was my idea.
Yeah, it's top banana. Well, thanks, Ed. We'll speak to Joe Gillette now. Joe, first of all, congratulations. Joe?
Joe?
Hello. Congratulations, Joe. Well done, mate. That was a great driving race one.
Thank you very much. I didn't really expect it. I mean, I didn't really expect it 5 laps into the race, but it just sort of opened up. And yeah, you have to take the luck and just work with it.
Yeah, I think you make your own luck in racing generally, and I think choosing to gamble for that the weather would stay was the right call. Obviously, in hindsight as well, but it was initially a bit of a gamble. Sometimes the rain comes and goes, like it did in qualifying. So fair play for sticking at it and obviously making it work. So yeah, congratulations. What were you thinking when you pitted and realised that you were at the front of the pack of those who pitted?
Well, I was sort of pretty fortunate, really, because Stoffmeal got caught up in the pits. He was ahead of me coming in, and then he got caught up in the other people coming in. And so I got a 3-second gap, and I just thought, well, I hadn't actually done any wet practice. I did a little bit in the half an hour we get in the server before the qualifying, but I did that in a wet setup, and I obviously came to a dry setup because it dried up for quali. So I'd never done a lap in the wet on that setup, and so it was sort of just, you got a good chance, a good position here, so don't go all in. Try and just feel it out. I don't think I was as quick as some of the other guys in the wet, but I was just trying to survive, to be honest.
It was a damp old boy out there, to be fair, the second half of the race. Alex, any questions for Joe?
No, I think we've covered just about everything I can think of.
Amazing. Thanks, Joe. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Let's speak with race 2 winner, and that would be Christos Philo. Hello. Hello. Well done.
Thank you.
I mean, I said it in the commentary. We were kind of a little bit distracted by some of the other driving during the race, but you drove superbly from lights to flag. A great drive, Chris. I mean, how do you feel?
I don't think I've ever cried that much when driving a virtual race. I sent it in the chat. You can see. This is also one of the races I've practiced the least for, and I've just won. I don't know what to think. Practiced the least, but won. It's incredible. The feelings are just insane.
It is. It's a great feeling. It is a great feeling. I mean, at what point did you think it was possible? I mean, obviously the reverse grid helps, but at what point did you think it was possible?
I mean, once I finished 13th, I thought if I get a second on the reverse grid, third on the reverse grid, I was certain I was gonna win. Once I passed Jorn, I was just full focus. My legs are shaking. Like they were shaking when I was braking. It's so hard to brake. And also, that's 3 years, 4 months since Latvian last won. Quite happy to take that now.
Oh,
Plus,
wow.
I'm 14 years old, so I'm 14 as well, so I think that should set a marker.
That is a cracking statistic. A great stat. I love it.
I was talking about before the race. I was talking
Nice.
about before it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you should be very, very proud, and it's always great to get a victory. and even more so when you can watch it back on YouTube and
Yeah.
glow in the aftermath of your win. So cracking job. Well done, Christers.
Thank
Alex, have you
you.
got any questions for Christers? Please say you have.
Give me some
What should I ask, Toby? Do you have a question that I should privy for you?
Use your brain. You have a brain, Alex.
I don't. I don't. I speak what I see on the track, and that's about it.
Okay, Christers, one last question. Germany in 2 weeks' time. Can you do it again? Is it a good track for you?
I will do better in the race 1. So yeah, I like the Hockenheim rig. I expect to do better. I mean, race 1 was better. Race 2, that's gonna be hard to beat.
Fair enough. Well, thank you and congratulations. You did a superb job today.
Thanks.
Really, really good job. So enjoy it. It's a great feeling.
I will. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Right. I am done for this evening. I have done 3 interviews. I'm
That's more than
exhausted
enough.
after race 2.
It must be hard shouting at drivers.
I love commentating so much. I just think it just can be better, and it's simple little things that they just need to improve on. Overall, like I'm not targeting anyone here particularly today. I just think overall it could have just been better, and I don't understand why it wasn't. It's just not difficult, but that's how I feel. I will say this. FS2 is always enjoyable alongside you, Alex, and with Vince on on cameras. I give up my evening for this. Everyone gives up their evening for this. Chris Williamson as well, and I think we have to remember that it is supposed to be a bit of fun, and you can see what it means to people like Christos Philo when he wins. He's over the moon with that, and that's the sort of attitude that you want in GPVWC. So there's always a place for FS2 and obviously people starting out in sim racing, but there's just a couple too many heroes, I feel, sometimes. But that's my opinion, Alex, for what it's worth.
Yeah. Either way, join us next time in Germany, where hopefully people will remember how to drive properly and not hit other cars and play bumper cars with the FS2 cars, which are probably quite expensive in real life. I don't know how much an F4 car is worth, but I'd imagine it's
I think the whole championship probably F3 in real life will be at least $1 million, I'd imagine, to do the whole championship in terms of budget. So I mean, we're talking a lot of real life money in the actual feeder series. So obviously we're not gambling with dollars in sim racing, but nevertheless it does feel like they're thrown around a bit like toy cars sometimes. So it is what it is. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for watching. As Alex said, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, enjoy yourselves. Have a lovely evening. Watch the football.
don't.